Hi, this is Gino Robair, tech editor for Electronic Musician. I'm here with Mike Quinn, who's doing front of house live sound with Kongos. And I wanted to ask him about the setup and what it's like working with the band. So when did you first get started working with them?
It's been a few years ago now. They were working around town. Their dad was mixing them, actually. Then they started doing some bigger shows. They needed some help, so they brought me in. Mm-hmm. So I think about 3 or 4 years ago. All up.
And what do you bring with you on the current tour?
At the moment, we carry all of our own audio, our entire mic kit. We moved to Midas recently. The band have always been self-contained. They've always had their own in-ears, their own microphones. They've always kind of been very astute for that stuff, and I just took it to the next level with my experience and knowledge of various different pieces of gear, and maybe we should try this instead. And it's just been stepping up steadily as we've gone.
Because they had mentioned that they had sort of a ad hoc arrangement, and you sort of helped solidify things or bring it all together and unify it.
I mean, when I first met them, there was no iPad invented at the time. I guess that's more than 4 or 5 years ago. So they had a makeshift tablet, and they were controlling their system that way, and a little Yamaha LS9 at the time. So they were doing that before anyone else had really got that tech. Yeah, it just didn't sound that great. So I showed them what a good desk can sound like, and then they went, "Oh, well, maybe we do want that. We play better. We hear ourselves more. We can get tighter." We changed their in-ear monitors. They were just using whatever they could find for earbuds. So we got some custom molded ones for them. That really changed them. They could all sing better. They could pitch better together. And it's really been a little progression. Every time we get some more money in the bank, we go buy one more toy, and then it does. But we're smart with what we buy. It makes a good leap for them.
Do you have to bring redundant material on the road with them in terms of the gear?
We do, yeah. We do. Fortunately, the stuff that we have hasn't really gone down too much. We do maintain everything constantly. But I've been doing this for a long time, so I keep up on the guys to keep maintenance constantly being done. But yeah, we've got backups of almost everything. Yeah, yeah.
What's the greatest difficulty in doing the live sound for this band? You've got the accordion and any other acoustic instruments that make it difficult?
The accordion was a challenge, actually. That was a big one. Their dad had come up with a system to mic it up, because the pickups that are built in them are usually pretty bad. So he had come up with an ad hoc little solution, and I just improved. I talked to the guys at Shure who we work with for microphones, and I borrowed some of their stuff, and we made a wireless solution that worked out, and it sounds great. That one is a tricky one to get live. If he's too close to the PA, the feedback can be a nightmare. But other than that, since we've changed all the mic, I'm a big fan of picking the right mic for the right task, and since we've done that, everything's become a lot easier to do. They all find their place in the mix. It sounds great now.
What's the system you're using for the drum miking?
That's an interesting one. I'm using a lot of recording techniques, actually, which Jesse and I work together in the studio as well. I've shown him some tricks. Try these microphones out. Maybe you should try this technique. We've talked about it on tour for a long time now, and this time around we did it. And then when we were in rehearsals, we just thought, let's try this. So I'm using Glyn Johns' overhead technique for microphones.
Really? Interesting.
Live, and it works great.
So it's only 3 mics?
Yeah, that's the predominant sound. I do have other mics on everything else too. I've got Steve Albini's trick on his drum on the toms, just to add some weight for when he's getting big, or some stick attack. But predominantly my front of house drum sound is 3 mics.
Okay, so what distance do you measure them from the? So you're measuring them from the snare drum, the top one and the side. So what's that distance that works for you?
To be honest, at the moment we don't carry all of our own stands yet, so it's as tall as the mic stand will go.
Okay.
And then work out to the other one. From that, it's about 45 inches or something like that just now.
And then what are you using for those two microphones?
Again, we're using Shure, and a little mic that no one's really heard of that they make it's been a real gem for us. It's called a Beta 181.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a little small cardioid. We're using it in cardioid mode, but we were using it on the bass guitar and some other stuff before, and it's really coming in.
Does that have the replaceable capsules?
Yeah, you can change the heads on it.
So what are you using capsule-wise? Are cardioids?
Yeah, cardioid.
Okay, and then for the kick drum?
At the moment, the kick drum is pretty conventional. I don't have any room in front of the kick because Jesse's so far down stage, and with subs usually in the pit, I can't put anything really nice out there. But at home, they were using U47s, or 47 FET.
Oh, fantastic! And then when you're doing the Albini tom trick, what are you using for those?
I'm using Beta 98s,
okay.
the new AMP model that they brought out, which actually sound like the original 98s. They sound great, but they didn't really have the depth that I wanted compared to other microphones that I've used in the past. So using the Steve Albini trick, it works great. Just flipping them down the same channel.
And then how do you work with the guitars? Are they going direct and being
I've never been a fan of direct guitar sounds, to be honest with you. I know a lot of guys use it, but Danny doesn't play that way. He's much more of a natural guitar player. So we used to be in stereo. We've now gone for wet and dry. So now it's a ribbon on his main guitar amp because they bought a Royer mic for recording and they fell in love with it. Again, Shure have this KSM 313, this new ribbon that they have out. We tried it on the guitar and fell in love with it. So that's now that, and then a pair of KSM 32s on the wet channel to get nice steady lush reverbs.
Fantastic.
And delays.
Great.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Too.
Cheers.
Absolutely.